I'm a former IRS agent, teaching instructor with IRS. I'm getting my goodies out of the way before I start this. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades. I've been doing this for 50 years. I am a national expert in IRS resolution matters. I'm going to be talking to you today about IRS debt and what 2 things are really important with that. In the meantime, I have been, if you want to see me in a coat and tie and look pretty, you can go to my website at 777irs.com. I've been on the national news probably 10 times, at least in the last 4 months. I have a whole team of former IRS agents, and we are some of the leading authorities in IRS resolution. After 50 years, I better be. Listen, I do these videos, first of all, to relax you, so you don't get all nervous and things. It's just not worth doing, getting all nervous and all that. Number 2, I don't want you to get ripped off. And number 3, people hit YouTube for 2 reasons. So you can either look to who you want to hire and you want to do it yourself. So I go ahead and I try to accomplish both things. So anyway, with that, I want to tell you about IRS debt. As a former revenue officer, I have worked thousands and thousands of cases. Being on the outside, I've worked thousands and thousands of cases. So I try to boil everything down for you so you understand what IRS debt is and how to kind of resolve that IRS debt. Generally, as an agent, when I'd knock on a door, people would come in the office to see me. I give them a financial statement. Depending on where your case is, if it's in the service center, you'll get a 433F. If it's in the local office, a revenue officer will get a 433, an extended version, a much extended version. For the offer and compromise, you'll get the 433 OIC. But what IRS is drilling down on really are only 2 things, and this is what you have to understand. IRS at the end of the day wants to know exactly how much your assets are, and can you liquidate them, and does your home have equity and you can get the money, or IRS is drilling down on your income and expenses. And this is the thing that gets everyone. So as an agent, most people don't have a lot of liquidity. They have some in their car. IRS never asks you to borrow against that. The only asset part they will, as general rule, is they will look at your home to see if you have equity. But what gets everybody is IRS is very strict on your income and expense level because they want to make sure you're living within your means. So how does IRS do that? IRS has a chart. Most people have no idea about this chart. It's a huge wake-up call. And it's called the IRS National Standard. So if you're looking at a 433A, that's the one I love for you to look at. If you could pull up the IRS form 433A for me, stop this video and go to page 4. That's the IRS 433A only, not OIC. 433A, page 4, and open that up. Do that, and I'll show you how IRS is going to do this. Once again, you're going to Google IRS form 433A, and you're going to go to page 4. On top, it'll say collection information statement. So you can stop the video, and then I'm going to eat a piece of watermelon, and I'll assume you've come back. Is that fair? It's fresh Florida watermelon. It's so good. Don't even need salt on it. I'm a big salt guy for watermelon. IRS is going to lock you into expenses and you can look these up in Google what they are. IRS National Standard Expense for food and clothing. Go Google it. IRS National Standard Expense for housing and utilities. It'll go to a state, then you'll go to a county, and you'll see the number of people living in your house. Then IRS will go to your IRS National Standards for car payment and IRS National Standards for car operating expenses. So no matter what you have, IRS is going to say this is what they're going to allow. IRS expects you to be making an estimate payment and then they'll allow everything else you're putting on the form. What you have to make sure of is IRS is going to make sure you're living in the standards. If not, IRS wants the money, says you're over and above that, and that's how IRS collects their money. You have to understand. Now, if you're entering in your own payment agreement online, you don't have to worry about that. But if you have a debt that you can't pay, that's what IRS is looking at. So you have to know exactly how IRS is working your case. And that's how they work all collection cases. As a result, IRS generally, when you call them on the RO, is either going to put your case into currently non-collectible because you don't have the money to pay. IRS is going to enter you a payment agreement because of your financial statement, or the revenue officer may say, you know, I think you're a good candidate for an offer and compromise. And if you are, you file. Two things about an offer and compromise to settle your debt. Don't go out running to get somebody right away. If you're not going to call us, this is what you have to do. You have to make sure they're an attorney, enrolled agent, or a CPA, because those are the only people that can represent you in front of IRS. Don't talk to a salesperson. Don't talk to anyone else. If that person isn't a person like me, a former agent, a CPA, an attorney, enrolled agent, you're speaking to someone who wants to get in your pocket, and you want to send that financial statement to them without confidential information so they can tell you exactly how IRS is going to work your case. And I just told you, IRS is going to look at your assets, come up with a value, and they're going to look at your expenses and make sure you modify them. And then that's how the service will work your case. Anyway, give me a subscription. You're welcome to call me. Have any questions, you can leave comments. By the way, you know why people want subscriptions is YouTube values you when you have subscriptions. If you don't, they put you down on the bottom of the poll. So I'd appreciate a subscription. Thank you.